Well, all right, y'all. All across the USC, Compton, Watts, Bay to LA, Pomona, California, from valley to valley, we represent that killer Cali. So if you keeping it real on your side of your town, you tune in to GANGSTER CHRONICLES.
GANGSTER CHRONICLES, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
GANGSTER CHRONICLEs, this is not your average show.
You're now tuned into the real MC8, Big James, and Big Steel.
This is strictly from the streets.
Hello.
We represent the J's.
We'd like to welcome everyone to another episode of GANGSTER CHRONICLES podcast. Now,
GANGSTER CHRONICLES.
I want y'all to keep our homeboy, our brother MC8, in prayer. He's doing fine. Couldn't be with us tonight because he's taking care of a medical issue. Nothing bad, so don't start no rumors out there. But I am with my homeboy.
Shout out to MCA. Shout out to MCA.
And yeah, shout out. You know, we got my boy. Where you at, Big J?
I'm right here.
Yeah, we got Big J in the house, man. Tonight we got a special guest. That brother that you hear in the background, you know, chatting and everything, is the Professor Melle Mel, the hood professor.
Man,
What's happening with you, Mel?
Man, you know the vibe, man. I'm just chilling, man. How you doing, James?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good.
Still just told me, man, you probably out riding that motorcycle.
No, man, I ain't got the grandson, boy. I was getting that rest in. You know,
You gotta do that, man.
I can't get it when he here. You know.
Okay, got you.
He got a lot of energy. I'll be running all over.
Man, the kids don't never. Once the 2-year-olds on up, man, they run all day.
All day. So
Hell yeah, man. You know, one of the things we was talking about earlier, man, there's a whole bunch of stuff just going around that we say may be the lack of the man code. But what exactly is the man code, fellas?
The man code is staying on code, man, knowing what your code of conduct is, man. You know, that's usually you get that in your cultural conditioning, but it comes from your father. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these guys are being reared and raised up by women. So, you know what I mean? It kind of speaks for itself when that female element is part of a man's thinking, it become emotional, very emotional. So they don't know how to process like a man or like a man would normally, you know what I mean? Because times have changed and a lot of women are just raising, you know, man boys.
well, I got my mom raised 3 sons. When daddy wasn't in the household, you know, we pretty much did what we wanted to do. And by far, you know, none of her sons were timid. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I give her credit for raising 5, but you know, I think without the dad, you know, we ain't afraid of nothing. So we tend to veer off into our own shit and start doing what we see in the streets. And that's what I learned.
True. That's true though, James. But during your time, you had uncles, granddaddy. You had somebody coming through, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was somebody that was right there. You know what I mean? So
Right.
we're talking about 2 different eras. You know what I mean? Where this era right here, man, this Generation Z, man. Come on, man. They don't. We used to just smoke weed and drink a little drink. Now they doing mollies, syrup, you know, drink. You know what I mean? A little PCP, a little powder. They
That's
getting
what I'm
high
saying.
on 10 different things.
The doors is open for being taught the street code opposed to learning and thinking for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know, we knew what time to head back to the house. You know what I'm saying? As
Oh yeah,
far
we
as-
definitely had that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So these cats today are totally different. You know, we have the lack of loyalty because don't nobody understand what that means. They didn't grow up with that, so they not conditioned for that. You know, just you don't have that 100 like you used to have when we was growing up back in the days. You know, you got kids knocking on doors, shooting at the parents. Parents ain't got shit to do with gangbanging.
Man,
If these niggas are, you know, being up close and personal, that was one of the rules. You don't go
taboo.
Yeah.
That's taboo. You
You
didn't
know,
do that.
then we had respect for the churches. Even though we were fucking monsters and doing the street, we didn't go and tag on a church.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
At
It's just
all.
certain things we didn't do opposed to everything they doing today. You know what I'm saying? And we could take away because the daddy wasn't there. I mean, we can honestly say that. But the kids these days, some of them got both of their parents. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But still out there doing the same funky ass shit that everybody else is doing.
Right.
They're not thinking for themselves.
There's a book, man. It's called The Man.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Keep on.
Okay, there's a book called The Man Not, right? And it's by a guy named Tommy J. Curry. Man, it is a great read. And it kind of it taps into a lot of different areas of manhood, what manhood is and what manhood is not. I lost my mic for a second. Let me see it come back on.
You good?
Yeah,
I'm gonna write a book called "Think for Yourself."
Think for yourself. That's a good title.
A lot of motherfuckers don't think for themselves. They're, you know, it's one thing of being taught right and wrong, and then it's another thing to be taught just being stupid, a foolish way. And a lot of these cats out here have been taught a foolish way. Like my nephews want to be gang bangers, but they see what it done to uncles and cousins and the uncles' homeboys, but they still want to be a part of. Everybody want to play and have a position in nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I just call it just think for yourself. You if you can see and absorb the shit that's been going on watching uncles, because aunties didn't let the kids, so we thought our nieces and nephews wouldn't be involved in this type of shit. But just like in Compton, now today, you got the homies' kids killing each other. You see what I'm saying? We all grew up together, but our kids are at war. And
that's crazy.
And the only thing that separates them is a boulevard, right? A street.
That's it.
Because they sat virtually in the same proximity of one another. They went to the same schools. They see each other. They go to the liquor store. They share the liquor store and the gas station. So how did we get there, James?
Every year shit breaks down in the neighborhood. All the cats that we call big homies or whatever are gone. The ones that are here may be strung on drugs. The younger kids, younger generation don't know how to respect their elders, the big homies, however you choose to word it. They don't respect mama. You know what I'm saying? Because now they believe that the homies got their back opposed to their mama having their back. You know, family. The hood turns into the family. The street code of today is the homies and what the homies do. You know, nobody out there, and these kids have never been taught how to think for itself. So it don't matter that, you know, they never broke bread with each other. The big homies, we all grew up breaking bread with each other, but these kids, they never broke bread with each other. You feel me? So it's just a lack of. And then the guys that you got in the hood of, you know, 50 and over, 45 and over, they become the big homie now. That's why they still trapped where they at, because they want to be the big homies. But they don't get it. So how can the blind lead the blind?
Yeah, and you know, y'all both said some really like stuff that's just real on point. Melle Mel said something, he mentioned something earlier that a lot of these guys don't have a father figure in the house. And see, I think with that father figure, you know, like even though my pops wasn't physically in the house with me, I had a stepdaddy, right? That was real, no nonsense. And I had uncles that was coming home from prison or whatever like that, telling me, hey, there ain't no place that you want to go. So they pretty much gave me what the definition of a man was. You know, them dudes didn't sit on their ass all day and, you know what I'm saying, and just chill. They went out and worked and had jobs and shit, had hustles, had shit, you know. So I was taught from an early age that a man is supposed to provide for his household. A man is supposed to do this. I got certain tendencies to this day. Like if I see my wife taking out trash, I get in my son's ass. I'll be like, you know, what is your mama doing taking trash outside? That's your job.
Right.
That's your job at the house. If somebody breaking the house, what we gonna do? Stay upstairs and hide, and the woman go downstairs and hold it down? You know, no, it don't work like that.
That would breaks the cycle. What you doing with your kids at home today, you there. That breaks the cycle of how you grew up. You know what I'm saying? The shit that I'm doing, raising grandkids. You know, I ain't supposed to be raising my grandkids. My kids supposed to be raising their own kids. You supposed to come fuck with granddaddy and grandmama on the weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I got a question for both of you guys.
What's that?
What is the hardest hood in the world?
The hardest good, doing right.
The hardest hood in the world.
The hardest hood in the world is doing right. Ain't no good. What's good?
No, hood. H-O-O-D. The hardest hood in the world.
Parenting.
There you go. Parenthood.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Parenting.
That's the hardest hood in the world, man.
It's the hardest because I'm gonna tell you this too right here. I think sometimes we've been too good at parents because I look at my kids sometimes. It's just like little stuff like, you know, my wife would say she going to the grocery store to buy something to cook for dinner, right? The kids just be on some shit like, oh, we want Chipotle, we want you know, Chick-fil-A. When I was a kid, that type of shit was a luxury. We went to McDonald's, it was like a luxury. You get to go to McDonald's, and today, man, these kids just look at shit like that like it's supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
No, that's called pacifying, dog. We pacify our kids and give them what they want. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I try to give my kids and my grandkids what I didn't get from my father, what I didn't get from my mother. And at the end of the day, you wind up hurting them because you pacify. Now they become adults and they still want and think you're supposed to give. So it's
also interesting. What's also interesting is how these kids are hardwired to dismiss the facts that we are laying out because of their own local thinking. The facts that we are laying out right here, the fact that we sit on this live and we give them straight up data, facts, statistics, they're hardwired in their minds to just simply dismiss it.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It's like, you know, sometimes I tell my sons some shit that I done been through already, and they'll look at me, well, it was different back then, Pops. I'm like, what's different? You know, what
the
was
time
different?
of the day, that's all.
Yeah,
that's
you know, and what I noticed with these, and you know, it ain't all bags. You got some young kids out there that's handling their business, right? But I noticed for the most part, man, we live in an era to where dudes can't take no kind in the slightest little hint of resistance, they ready to give up on some shit. You know what I mean? And I tell my kids every day, life is hard as a motherfucker. I say, you think I like doing half the shit I do, but it's what it is. You know, it's what you have to do is what your purpose is. You know what I mean? You know, you got car notes, you got mortgages, you got shit to pay for, so you got to get off your ass.
The world is moving, man, because see, every moment, every nanosecond, change is occurring. Whether you want to be a part of it or not, it's happening. So you got to get with the program, or else, you know what I mean? You look like the dude that's standing down on the corner in front of Aiken store with the 40 ounce, still got a jerry curl, telling about he from the hood. Or you got the dude over in Santana Block standing in front of Brownies on the backside with a 40 ounce, telling about, yeah, man, I'm down for the hood. You got them cats right there. And then you got these youngsters looking at that, but they don't realize that's the horror movie right there in front of their face. That's gonna be them in 10 years. But they don't seem to take that into account. You know what I mean? Because we all, these eyes right here, your eyes is the lens to the movie that you're filming. Right? You're right here, right now, you know. So you want to be the best version of yourself at all times, you know what I mean? But people just take things for granted in our communities that things is somehow it's just gonna work itself out. They don't have to put no time and energy into working it out. They just want you, like they want James to maybe come fix it or take their hand and show them what to steal. They want you to do me. You know what I mean? They think that somehow we're gonna just go in the backyard to the money tree and just fill it up and hand it to them. You know?
Yeah, well, you know what, and that seeps over. It's a lot of grown ass sorry niggas that think that way. I'm gonna tell y'all, James, no, you would be surprised at the amount of phone calls I get from people, and I don't mind people calling me for help or asking for help if you're willing to do for self. But you get somebody to call you and say, "Hey, man, I want to put together a podcast, right? I want to do something." You help them get it up, you get them get it set up. Next thing you know, they calling you every day because they pretty much want you to come and do the shit with them. And you don't already put all kind of man hours into them, don't did all kind of shit, don't did this. Now you getting to where you not just investing your time, but now you investing a little bit of money because it's like, you know what, this nigga needs.
And you losing money still because if you spending time over there for free, you losing money where you could be gaining money on your own shit.
Exactly, and that's what I tell people. I say, shit, me and James got our own damn platform. We could be over there doing that shit. At least we know we getting $1 from that shit, you know. But you would get people, in the moment you tell these motherfuckers no, it's like watching the reaction to a little 4-year-old kid when you tell them they can't have no more candy or cookies or some shit because they get mad. Oh, fuck you funny acting. Because, see, the one thing about a nigga, and I ain't talking about black people, I'm talking about niggas, period. You could tell them niggas yes 1,000,000 motherfucking times. The first time you tell them motherfuckers no, they forget about all the yeses that you told their ass, all the shit. Now you all kind of bullshit motherfuckers. You know, you lend a motherfucker, you let a motherfucker hold a few dollars, right? And this is just a thing about being a principal. I was taught coming up, you don't borrow from somebody. I ain't no borrowing type of nigga, no way. But if I get something from another man, you're supposed to give that shit back to him. Whether family, you know, exactly. Whether it's family, whether it's whatever. And I tell my kids all the time, you know, don't get into that thinking, because like I tell my sons, if they come to me, Pops, you got a few dollars I can borrow? I'll say, you mean borrow or half? It's a difference. You got to be clear.
It's a very difference.
Because if you tell me that you borrowing it, that means I expect mine back.
Expecting it back.
Just like I gave it to you.
It's different between somebody in the streets or somebody at home, in a sense. But it kind of falls back on you. If you know a motherfucker ain't got a job and he hang on the block all the goddamn day, he ain't doing nothing. If a motherfucker ain't getting up, being productive, and a motherfucker can't buy his own drink, his own weed, everybody got habits, can't buy a cigarette, and it's the same motherfucker every day. Let me get a smoke. Let me get a smoke. You ready to give him $300-$400? But yeah, this the homie. You give him $400. Don't plan on seeing that shit back.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you can't be
that's
mad at
real
him
shit.
because you already knew not to get this motherfucker nothing.
Right. Well, you know what my thing is, James? With certain motherfuckers, and I know their tendencies, I do what I call buy them out my life. If I know a motherfucker,
that's exactly what happened.
And he asked me for something, yeah, sure, you can borrow that $200. I'll give it to his ass because I know I ain't gonna never hear from his punk ass again.
He gonna definitely break his neck when he see you from trying to hide from you because he don't want you to see.
Exactly, you don't want to pay it back.
Because James, because how many times, and this fall under the man code to me too, because I tell people all the time, I ain't never been a gangbanger, but I tell you why all my friends are gangsters, because most of them is the most loyal, trustworthy motherfuckers you can meet, because they live by a certain code. If they get something from you, they will give it back, and 9 times out of 10, they ain't gonna never ask you for shit, because they got their own. You feel what I'm saying?
You
and it's like
good brothers out there, man.
It's a lot of good brothers out there. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of real solid street cats. And what it comes down to, man, really, I'm gonna tell you where all this shit come from. Y'all remember when the 80s they start pushing that line about, oh, if your parents is whooping your ass at home, you can call this number and snitch. And you remember people was telling on their parents and shit like that?
Right.
But where they missed the mark at with that shit, you had people that was really at home getting abused and shit that couldn't get no fucking help. But you got this one motherfucker that call the police every night when he getting his ass whooped for fucking up, and they coming over there jumping on them parents and shit like that. The shit really got construed, man, to the fact that where these kids think a motherfucker's supposed to be their friends. When you a parent, you're not put on this earth to be a fucking friend.
Why do they think like that? Because you got some parents that get high with their kids that, come on, let's have a drink. Roll that blunt. Let's go
They
ride
doing it with the
and go hang out
kids.
over here. Those are the things that you don't do with your kids, man.
Exactly.
You don't smoke no motherfucking marijuana with your child, because at the end of the day, he's getting comfortable with hanging with you, not you being my parent, my father.
So
my
that's that what you just said is a part of staying on code. We know as parents that's something that you shouldn't do with your kids. You got to stay on code. You got to stay in parent mode. You don't go from being parent to being their friend or being somebody that's passing blunts between them. You know, you just don't do that, man.
Yeah, you don't. My thing is this, because you know, right now marijuana, we gonna go to the weed a little bit. Marijuana is legal now. I smoke weed every once in a while. I smoke me some weed, but I'll be damned if I'm gonna sit up and get high with one of my damn kids.
Should no.
And that's just no. You don't cross a line. It's like it's this when you making love with your wife. You ain't invite them in the room, son. Watch and see how I hit that ass. You might as well if you start doing shit like that.
Right. Well, just at the end of the day, man, when you start doing shit like that, entertaining yourself with your kids in a fashion of that nature, what happens when your son get mad at you? Now you see these niggas just nutting up on their daddies.
And that's because they've crossed that line at some point.
You got this in the neighborhood today. But it's all, to me, I think everything that we do in life is designed. Everything that we do in life has a reason to it. It has a purpose. When the government, when these people took whooping our kids out of the household, and now the kid feel more just angry because now I can call the police and your ass to go to jail. If whooping your kids and you put your kids in juvenile hall system, you got to pay for it. What that tell you, man? If I can't chastise my son, what happens? My son get more and more badder and badder every day. He goes out there, he hanging out. Now he becomes a statistic. Now he done got his ass whooped by the police or killed by the police.
After that law was implemented, surely around by the late 90s, early 2000s, is when you start seeing these kids walking up in the school and gunning down the whole classroom. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the parents there was no longer no structure within the home. You couldn't discipline your child when you know Johnny was doing all this. When Johnny was back there killing the cat, killing the dog, and doing all this crazy, strange stuff, you weren't able to stop him and discipline him on that. You know what I mean? Right. So you just kind of shoved it under the carpet, buried the animal, and just pretend like that never happened. So over a period of time, he evolved, and the mentality became thirsty for something bigger or a bigger venue, shopping for a bigger venue. And here we go. Now we got these kids walking up to school, movie theaters, nightclubs, or whatever, what have you, and they just gun everybody down. Don't even know them. Just walk up into the church, Dylan Roof. You know what I mean? Then the police shows up and apprehend him, don't fire a shot, take him to Burger King and buy him a Whopper and cart him off to jail like it was just a normal day for him. That's not normal.
And Melle Mel, what do you call a kid that can go and commit a murder, but then fall out and break down in the courtroom after the judge then gave him a life sentence, crying? What do you call him? Is he misunderstood? No, he's not misunderstood because he just killed somebody.
Right.
He don't understand consequences. We didn't understand that part. We didn't give a fuck about that part, should I say. We went to jail back then. We went to jail. We didn't give a fuck. 72 hours, you getting out of jail, don't nobody show up. Ain't nobody coming to court. Motherfuckers look for that type of shit. And we counted on that. Now these little niggas is getting 35, 45 to life. And then the majority of these cats you see today just sitting in that courtroom crying. They crying. Do you feel sorry for them?
No, I don't.
We were lucky. But these little kids today, man, they never have to deal with consequences. You know what I'm saying? So how do the big homies, how do we change the shit, should I say? It's hard to do because once a motherfucking mind is conditioned to play a certain part, he don't want to play another part. He don't want the other role. He don't want the role of a good guy, because now he believes that all the homies is looking down on him because he thinking the right way. So the right way will never show. We'll never put on that game face. I wouldn't wear that game face because I didn't want the homies to think that I was slacking up, I was getting soft, or what have you. Because if a motherfucker think you getting soft out there, the cold thing about it is they gonna try you.
Oh, 100%. Please believe it.
What happened?
I said, please believe it.
Yeah. So, I think the odds are just against all of us, and we don't pay attention, and we don't want to see that or hear that part of the story.
Right.
We want to believe all the bullshit that we hear and see, opposed to thinking and seeing what's right or wrong.
Yeah, well, you know what it is.
We're scared to think for ourselves.
Well, if you notice today, man, a big part of what's going on today too is men don't communicate with each other no more. This is the typical scenario nowadays. I got a problem with James. I have James' phone number. Instead of calling him, I go on Instagram and make a post about it, but don't never say his name, but he know I'm talking about him. Well, this and that. Instead of me picking up the phone and calling him, I do that. And no offense to our women listeners out there or my fellas, but to me, that's really feminine. That's not the way a man conduct themselves. If you got a problem with somebody, you call that person and you work it out with them. Even if it's on the backyard and box.
Communication is the main component of getting an understanding. Without communication, you can't have an understanding. So that's just something that just has to happen,
Right.
Yeah, it has to happen 100% for sure, because I know y'all see it online. It's like, and I'm not going to go into the whole Charlemagne thing, right? They was reporting on a brother. What's the guy's name? Kwame Brown. Charlemagne, he went a little bit extra with it and said some stuff about the thing. The dude went hammers, went bunkers. Charlemagne went on this show and apologized today.
That's a man.
I think that's a man shit right there. He said, you know what? I fucked up. I shouldn't have said that and this and that. And he apologized about it. A lot of niggas today won't do that. A lot of niggas know they wrong as a motherfucking $3 bill, but it still could carry on with the bullshit instead of just being a man and saying, you know what? My bad, my nigga. I don't mean no disrespect.
At least he had the common decency to recognize his mistake and understand why he needed to apologize. You understand? Because here's the thing, man. If you think about the NBA, right? Mm-hmm. Well, look at the world. There's over 7 billion people on this planet, right? Maybe 500 professional basketball players. With those percentages, the likelihood of anybody making to the NBA is slim and none. So if Stephen A. Smith and Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes and Gilbert Arenas is jumping on this dude because they don't feel like he didn't play to their understanding or what they think he should have played to, that's their problem. You understand? For them to still be talking about that 20 years later, it's retarded, man. They didn't have nothing else better to talk about.
Yeah, that's real shit. One thing that we got to stop doing, though, and I'm going to tell you one thing, and I try to practice this myself, is we got to stop trying to knock the next brother down that's doing some shit all the damn time.
Exactly.
It's always us. Whenever you see somebody talking about a nigga, it ain't a white boy on TV. It ain't this person. It ain't a Mexican doing it. It's one of us. Oh, fuck them niggas. They think they got it going on. I'm about to tear them down. Their favorite word is I'm going to expose some shit. What the fuck you going to expose? That you lame?
No, that's we hate what we see, what we can't get for ourselves. So we hate the next man that got it. We hate the fact that he got it and I don't. And you see a lot of motherfuckers like that. Mel would tell you way back in the days, a nigga hated another motherfucker because his lowrider looked better than his. I didn't have datings. So now niggas say the only way I can get those datings is to go out there and kill a motherfucker for them. No, datings was easy to get. Everybody had a hustle and a grind, but motherfuckers didn't want to buy them. We hate on each other just because of what we see.
Right.
And what we don't have right here. We hate each other because bitches is looking at that nigga saying that motherfucker is with it. That nigga pretty. Now I hate this nigga because the bitches like him.
Exactly.
We hate each other just on the strength of niggerism or whatever.
Hey man, you know what? It's funny you mentioned that. People hated bartender for that very reason. Bartender was a nice looking young man, and all the women, no matter where they was from, loved that dude. You know what I mean? So dudes from even his own section or dudes from obviously other sections hated him just for that reason alone. You know,
exactly. Didn't want their women around that motherfucker know nothing. But what I'm saying is we hate what we're not.
Right.
We hate what we can't be, but we see it in somebody else. As black men, we hate the fact that another motherfucker made it. We hate the fact that a black man accomplished something, or niggas came from the hood and they doing this now. Oh, he think he the shit. He made it out the hood. No,
but look, watch this though.
For making it. It ain't every day somebody walk out the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying, Mel?
Yeah.
It ain't every
watch
day.
this, James. There's a guy, his name is Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill said one of the most powerful emotions that a man has is the desire to have sex. But if he harnessed that energy and transmuted it into a monetary equivalent, he'd be that much further ahead in life. Other words, what he was explaining is that if you put your time and energy into building your foundation in your life, you don't have no time for all that stuff. And then at that point, you don't have to look for no woman. The woman gonna be looking for you. You understand? Because now you don't build this life up, and you got it stable. Now you know what I mean. But what happened to our youth, or some of the people that come up that time, they put the buggy in front of the horse. They start chasing women and doing all this stuff, and don't realize that they're losing precious time because they can spend that time building their life. And once you have your life together, then women come. They come find you. You don't have to look for them.
Right.
That's some real shit right there. That's some real shit. But you know what though, man? And I know James ain't big on conspiracies. Me and you are a little bit, Mel. If you look at this, man, now let's take it back. If you go back and look at the programming that was on TV in the 70s and the 80s, right? It was always a play kind of to where the dad in the house was a buffoon, almost like a fool. The kids playing jokes on him and stuff. The mama talking to him crazy. You had good times where Thelma talking to the house, coming that man to his house and talk crazy to him or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or you had the Jeffersons where the woman come over his house and talk crazy to him. You feel what I'm saying? Right. They had the sister with the white guy. It was all kind of little subliminal shit, and they always made the man look like a damn fool.
Well, that was the beginning of the feminist movement. That was because of the feminists that started all that stuff. It was a sleight of a hand and subliminal, of course, but it was due to that feminist movement that they felt like women was equal to men. But women got to realize that you're living in the world that men built. See, because a woman can't run the electrical grid or run the upkeep the infrastructure of this country. That's not women. We're doing the job already. Women have to learn how to do that. You understand? So you took all the men away. What would the women do?
Yes, that and women too. Our women fans out there, them is Melle Mel saying that y'all better stay in your place. Hey, I don't want y'all sending me no emails.
I said that. I stand in that.
That's Mel said that. You know, but the thing is though, bro, if you go back and look at it, the man was always made to look like a fool. It's like, if you think about it, Married with Children, that was one of the biggest shows on TV. Al Bundy was a shoe salesman, right? He had a job, but it always showed him just like he was just a fool all the time. Could never do anything right.
Okay, we still dealing with the feminist movement though. It's all a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is exempt from that. We just got to understand why, the whys. You understand?
Now, both of y'all, you know, whether they was good men or not, you know, we all had men in our household, right? We all had men in our black household. Were any of y'all daddies or stepdaddies that let some broad come in the house and talk to him crazy?
Hell no.
It wouldn't have went down in my house. Because the first thing Willie would have said, my step pops, whose last name I carry, he'd have told my mama, you better put this bitch in check. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to handle it. You know what I mean? She ain't going to be in here talking crazy to me or talking to me any kind of way. I remember a woman told my stepdaddy, you need to put some shoes on. He said, when you start paying some bills around this motherfucker bitch, then you can talk to me. Until then, you ain't got to say shit to me. And I said, damn. I thought it was kind of harsh at the time, but what he was doing is he was putting the check down.
So what about daddy overflowing his ass and then my mama shot my father? Nigga, you ain't putting your hands on me no more. You ain't talking to me like that no more. So the motherfucker thought he was gonna go out, fuck with his bitches at the motorcycle club, and come back in the house and that's that. She set her motherfucking ass in the chair with a towel on her lap, the pistol up under the towel. When that nigga opened the door, pop, pop, pop. I thought that was the most gangsterish shit I ever seen in my motherfucking.
But you know what though? That's what she should have done.
My mama with the business. You feel me?
And I'm with all that thing because I'm gonna tell you this.
Hey, he got it together though, James.
I'm gonna tell you this though. That's a pet peeve of mine because my thing is this. It ain't no way on God's green earth no nigga got no reason to be putting no hands on no female. I tell everybody this. If she making you want to whoop her ass and all that, she ain't the right one.
That's true.
She ain't the right one, because I'm gonna tell you, a woman want me to fight with her ass. If my wife liked to fight and all that shit, we wouldn't be together. I'm not doing it, dog.
Well, some women like that. Some women like to fight. My uncle's girl. She was at the projects.
Which project?
Imperial Courts. Huh?
Imperial Courts.
Yeah,
Imperial Courts.
Imperial Courts. I watched her throw down with my Uncle Bolo like on some 100, nigga come get it. And he was busting her ass up, but she was with the business. You got some women out there that ain't gonna take that nigga shit.
They ain't going for it at all.
Who wants to, man, let me tell you something. I don't need a woman if three niggas trying to jump me and she just stand there hollering and hooping. Bitch, you better join in. If she
better get the fight.
I don't need.
You better get the fight, man.
I don't need her punk ass. I don't need it. But also, I don't want my girl.
I ain't fighting. We fighting.
Right. Every woman I had in my life, man, was with the business. My ex-wife on the motorcycle set. I had to tell her, put your motherfucking gun back in your titty. I don't have to fight every time a nigga run his mouth. She coming out, she whipping that motherfucking Deuce 5 out, ready to pop a nigga. My daughter's mama from Southside. Pam like, nigga, if you gonna fight my nigga, you gotta fight me too. I had women that was ready to fight what they do. That don't make her a bad woman because
no, not at all.
I mean, my oldest son mama, old light-skinned motherfucker, pretty ass motherfucker, but she ready to fight. She love her dude, nigga, y'all ain't finna do that. Feel me? My sisters.
James, we had some savages.
They had the J.J. Newberries with the Pomeroy's or at Sears. My sisters was swabbing too.
Hey, James, whatever happened to Modessa?
Against a woman.
You remember Modessa, James?
Huh?
You remember Modessa?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was my love right there, man.
Right. Here's the difference between a man fighting. You got a lot of men out there that let another nigga call him a bitch or slap him up or push him and kick him around. But then he take that aggression and being because he mad, he gonna go home and call his woman a bitch. No, if you ain't man enough to fight another man for disrespecting you, you shouldn't say shit to your woman for disrespecting you. That's the problem here. You got a lot of men that'll beat the shit out of a woman, but they're afraid of the big homie, the little homie, or just a man in general. That's the problem with motherfuckers. They need to learn their roles. If you're a motherfucking man and you out there with the next man and that man call you a bitch, handle your business. But if your wife don't cook or your girl don't cook dinner, had dinner for you, now you want to roll up and be mad. Oh, bitch, you should know. There's a difference. Some niggas is bitches too, and niggas don't understand that shit. And I'm gonna keep it 100. There's a whole lot of bitch niggas out here. A whole lot of them. And the difference of that, You got some niggas out here that'll fight any nigga on the planet, but he'll still go home and beat up his bra. Can you be mad at that nigga? You can't put him in the same boat as a bitch nigga, but you can be, nigga, you ain't got to beat your girl up like that.
True.
Because at that point, you ain't got to prove a motherfucking thing to your woman.
True.
You feel me? Your woman's supposed to feel safe around you, secure.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what men are. Men are the maintaining protectors of women and children. That's just our position. That's our natural position.
Right. That's supposed to be our strength, but we don't do that. We don't do that. We done let that shit go so far, it's just out of hand. So how do we get that shit back? We got to learn to condition ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It took me to get to my late 40s, my 50s, for me to understand what type of person I wanted to be. Or now I can honestly stand up and tell the next motherfucker I'm a man. I know I'm a man. I know what a man is now. I done been through it. But I know what the fuck a man is, and can't nobody take that from me. Can't nobody touch that. You feel
Right.
me?
Right.
And I'm gonna protect any and everything that's in my circle, and that's family. You feel me? So
absolutely,
once we understand and learn that part, then I think we be better as black men. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm gonna tell you, I had one of the coaches. As y'all know, my son played football for USC. And one of the coaches that told me and my wife that y'all are the best parents I ever seen. Y'all really be there for y'all kids, right? My thing is this. I reward my kids when they doing something excellent. When they doing something that's not excellent, they don't get rewarded for the stuff, right? I look at it like this. We paid for our oldest son to go to college. We didn't have to pay for my middle son to go to school because he did what he's supposed to do with his grades and football and got himself in the school. We rewarded that. We got him a car, right? My oldest son did right. He went and got him some shit. My daughter, she on her way, so she will get her some stuff. If they was in here fucking up, it wouldn't happen like that. But even with that being said, I always let my kids know that you're not obligated to shit for you doing what you're supposed to do. I'm doing this as a reward for you, but this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to want to be good for yourself in life. You feel what I'm saying?
But to a certain point, you're doing it because you're a parent. And this is what parents do. They make their kids great. Your sons want to be like dad because dad is doing right. Dad is still here with my mama. So I want to be like him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about image.
Let's take it a little deeper. So why is it that Alonzo Ball get criticized for doing such an excellent job with his 3 sons, but yet the media is owning?
Because like you're a black man.
That's what I was going to say. You know what the problem with Alonzo, you know what the problem with the media they got with him is that he's a black man that breaks every stereotype they ever had. This motherfucker love his sons to death. And regardless of what you want to say, because I'm trying to get one to the NFL, this nigga don't got all his kids. The one kid, at least he don't got in the what he got in the C League or whatever. He's still playing professional basketball.
I don't want to blame it on white people, but I want to say this. People do not want to see black men with strength and power like that raise their kids and let the whole world know that I got their back. My kids are good. Mm-hmm. My kids ain't bad. And they're there. If every father, if the world seen every black man as a father out there for their kids like that, we wouldn't have the problems we have today.
I'm telling you for real.
He opened his mouth. Oh no, we don't need niggas to act like that. We don't need them out in public like that.
This is why it's so important that we control our own media, because if we control our own media, we get to put the images out there that is respectful, that show black men doing these type of things, and it don't be in the hands of individuals that don't have our best interest, because it's still the Willie Lynch syndrome going on, because they want to put out the people that's not doing so well or doing good in society, but they don't want to highlight and showcase the Alonzo Balls, the Steels, the James, and the Melle Mels. They don't want to do that, because then now they got to change the subject. The topic has got to change the way how we are being defined in this society. So that's why it's important that we stay on code and we gain access to our own, controlling our own media. That's why when I'm doing the Hood Post, man, I always say I take individuals that turn negatives into positives. That's what I'm interested in.
Exactly, and that's some real shit. So, Lonzo Ball, we need you on the show, big dog. I'm gonna get at your people.
There you go, man.
We'll
Get Lonzo Ball. Let him come and speak. Let him come speak that truth, man.
Because we gonna get you on here, bro, and give you your flowers. We ain't gonna get you on here to talk about that because that man is a great father and he's a great husband. I'm gonna tell you, I'll fuck with that little show. That man's wife had a stroke. He take care of that woman, built her a little park in the backyard. He take care of them kids, and he love his kids, dog. What's wrong with that?
If he hadn't took care of her, she'd be dead based on how the medical people treat our people when they go in the hospital. She'd be dead by now, depending on them people.
Right.
Exactly.
That man took that circumstance and that situation to his own hand and said, I'm going to go get these herbs. I'm going to go get these alternative medicines. Wherever they're at, I'm going to get my wife. I'm going to take care of my wife. No worries. I don't need y'all help. Let me take care of this.
Because you know what I told somebody, and see, this is what I mean. That's why I get me so pissed off when I see us attacking each other. As soon as the man had put his sons all had their own clothing brands. He made their own tennis shoe. The first thing you see niggas, oh, them shoes ugly. They too expensive. Oh, man, ain't nobody gonna wear those. It's like, man, why don't you just support? If you don't want to buy them, don't go buy them. But don't try to stop everybody else from supporting the brother if they want to do some shit. And that's the biggest problem with us, dog. We are our own biggest haters.
Another black man that didn't look like, man, I shouldn't have bought shit. But we support, well, I don't buy them. Motherfuckers buy Michael Jordans, motherfuckers buy tennis shoes because they want to look like that. They got tennis shoes out there $500-$600 today. I wish I would. I wouldn't give a fuck what I had. I wish I would.
You ain't doing that,
but check this out though, y'all. I'm gonna tell you what motherfuckers will do. What's his name and them Gucci and them could call us niggas behind our back and could do all this shit, depict the black people with the watermelon and the big lips and all that shit. They could do that shit. It could come out today that Gucci hate black people. Them motherfuckers still go sell $1 billion worth of shit to black people. Because guess what? These punk ass rappers go still go out and wear the shit. These entertainers go still go out and wear the shit. So therefore them kids will go out and wear it because they don't give a fuck at the end of the day. At the end of the day, niggas hate niggas, dog. I really believe that.
At the end of the day, we don't see much, especially in the community.
I'm glad you brought up rappers, man. I'm glad you brought them up.
Hold on 1 second. Y'all it must be a little delay because y'all talking over each other a little bit.
Okay.
Hold on. All right, James, say what you was gonna say.
I said it ain't that. It's we don't understand how much power we have in our neighborhoods, in our community. A liquor store couldn't stand there, couldn't stay open if we didn't go in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? We got motherfuckers in liquor stores coming out and pointing guns at you. Get the fuck out of my store or away from the parking lot. This is part of our neighborhood, but we support the motherfuckers still. And you see a nigga walk right past you after they talking all that shit and don't want to serve you nothing, but we're still walking that motherfucking store and by.
That's some real shit.
Fault. That bullshit is on us. We got to see how much power we have. Now, y'all won't be here if we didn't fuck with y'all. So let's not fuck with them. Let's get them out of there because they ain't bringing that money back to the neighborhood and helping with a school or a park and no shit like that. They taking that shit back home or back to their country.
Yeah, that's some real shit.
Everybody helps everybody but us. We don't help each other. We don't help us.
Hey, you know what I do want to do? And I want to be an example of that, man. On another note, this kid that reached out to, I think he reached out to all of us on Instagram, right? This kid is 12 years old and has his own clothing brand. It's the Resign 24. They sent you some stuff, James?
No.
Yeah, they go be sending you, check your inbox on your thing. He got a clothing brand, Resign 24. We go post some pictures of the stuff on our Instagram page and stuff like that. But he sent us all individually a package. And I'm hook you up because that mama been she probably trying to get extra, James. But this kid is 12 years old, man, and designed this stuff. The mama asked me, would you support it? I know this ain't the perfect thing of it, but he got some dope stuff, man. 12 years old, got a clothing brand. How would I look like how would I look as a brother, an older brother that's preached black excellence to deny him of that, to expose him to people in our platform and stuff like that, man. I thought that was incredible. So shout out to Rasan, man. Y'all go check his page out and everything. But
what is his page?
His page, I'll tell you right now, it's on Instagram. He's at Nasir Womack. That's his Instagram page. Naseer Womack.
But let me write it down.
Naseer Womack. Yep, Womack. Womack. And I just thought that was real. Like, I thought that was incredible, man. I said, this dude 12 years old and got his own clothing brand. And I actually got
Nasir Womack.
Yeah, Nasir Womack. He an actor. He a young kid from Long Beach, man, out there doing his thing, man. Shout out to him, man. We appreciate you, little brother. Keep going strong. But if we start supporting our own, man, like, and I keep telling people, and I don't say it a couple of episodes, and hopefully we can do it one day. If every black man, woman, and child in this country decided for 2 days we're not going to spend no money with nobody else, if we go to the grocery store, hell, go to no Fishi's 24, go to the Mexican store, you know what I mean?
Right.
But we're not going to no Walmarts, we're not spending no money no Target, no McDonald's. I'm going to tell you, this motherfucker would be shut down. They would have to bow down to us, but we're not going to ever be able to do it because it's always going to be a motherfucker saying, oh, I don't give a fuck about that shit them niggas talking about over there. I'm going to go get my coffee. Well, I'm going to go over here and get this.
I got another question still for you and James. And hopefully you guys can talk about it or at least give us some insight on it. What do you think about these rappers that claim neighborhoods, they claim tribes in Compton, LA, and Watts? What's your take on that?
You know what, man? You want to go first, James?
No, go ahead.
This is what I think about it, man. I think brothers need to be true to who they are because the real Crips and Bloods I know that are rappers, they may mention it here in their songs, but it ain't their whole thing. It ain't their whole, you feel what I'm saying? They don't go overboard with it. You feel what I'm saying? I know one of the biggest blood execs in the game, man, and I swear I've never heard this dude say blood one time. I ain't never heard James say blood before. So the real
but see, that's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about the dudes that grew up in these suburban homes, that grew up in upper middle class suburbia, never knew anything about a gang, but somehow got on, made a big hit record in rap, and then they decide, well, I'm gonna go to Compton, and I'm gonna go claim Mob, or I'm gonna go claim Santana, I'm gonna go claim Fruittown. I'm talking about those individuals.
A lot of those guys, they sit back, listen to Yo MTV raps, and then just like this, they figured out they have a talent. They know how to rap. But with the talent going out there and trying to get a record deal, get sound or heard, motherfuckers realize they need a image. They need to, the image that you see with most gangster rappers, they feel that they need that. So they reach out to the gangsters. Let's say, a certain individual knew that he didn't have it in him to pull it off and do this. So I needed real gangsters. I needed these motherfuckers to make my dream come true. Rap, whether he didn't rap or whatever, he knew that he had to have that image. And a lot of these cats coming from Beverly Hills, these white boys want to be rappers. They know that they need an image. They need to go to a hood. That's the only way they can pull it off. And the money played a big part of that because a lot of the guys in the hood don't have a way out already. So why shouldn't I let this motherfucker slide in and play that part? He paying for it.
That's what my point is, that's fine, but we need to get a non-disclosure agreement from you so we don't get Tekashi 6ix9ine by you if you decide to go the other way, because we need to be compensated in a way that fits this tribe situation. You know what I mean? Because You
Melle
want to
Mel,
make all this money, but then you want to run away from the circumstance after you created it.
self-destruction is already in the hood. We already got our finger on the self-destruction button. To be a hood and to be certified in the hood, we should never allow motherfuckers to come in our motherfucking neighborhoods and perpetrate anything. A rapper, actor, or whomever. If you ain't coming to my hood to say, I think you got talent, let me put you in the movie. Fuck having niggas come and say, I want to be from your hood. How much? He go 30,000. They go 10,000. I want to be from the hood. What he do out there represents everybody in that hood, just like it's 6ix9ine, Tekashi.
Right.
Everything that dude did, the homies opened the door for that shit, and then now they allow it because the money has blinded us. Now there ain't no hood shit no more. Now niggas is on survival mode. Now niggas are doing 15 to 20 in prison because of the consequences, because we allow people to infiltrate what we are and perpetrate what we are, and they're not. So it ain't 6ix9ine motherfucking fault. It ain't Suge Knight fault. It ain't none of these other guys that in the hood trying to be from the hood. They don't want to be from the hood. They just need the hood to get big.
Right.
So they're using the hood for a purpose.
Uh-huh.
That's all it is. If a motherfucker ain't broke bread in the hood, ain't spilled no blood in the hood, you could never be a hood nigga.
Period.
You could never be. I don't give a fuck what you do or how much money you got. Because it's not here. It's not here. You don't even know how to think like a motherfucking gangster. You can perpetrate a fraud all day. Because them niggas ain't looking, because they already got their blindfolds on because they getting paid.
So when the shit get real, then that's when you see the real that was really in them, that was something foreign and alien to what you had.
Survival mode is a motherfucker. Anybody that feel threatened and see that the shit is coming, they're gonna either crawl up, they're gonna ball up, roll up, or they're gonna try to get the fuck out of there, or they're gonna give it up. Survival mode is a motherfucker, and it comes in all shapes, sizes, forms, the whole nine. If you ain't self-made, if gangster by nature, not by choice, if you don't understand what you are and where you going with what you doing, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. You just walking in a motherfucking in a dead alley. One way to go, one way out. Now, when you get to the end and then have to come back, what you gonna do? Because you know these motherfuckers at the end of this motherfucker waiting for you. You ain't gonna walk out to
they don't anticipate that the niggas that they rolling with got tombstone mindsets and graveyard dispositions for real.
Yeah,
not playing, for real.
So every situation, the two motherfuckers that they sought out and they look for to get to help them get to where they want or help them build their repertoire, whatever the case might be, them the two motherfuckers in the hood thinking we hood slick, we finna talk this nigga out this paper, we finna get this money, yada yada. And at the end of the day, everybody that tried to do that, it backfired on their ass.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It backfired on it because number one,
talk that real, James. Talk that real, man. Talk that real.
Give you motherfuckers what I think I should give you. That was one of our downfalls. We got what he thought we deserved or what we was gonna get. It was never intended for us to get rich or out the hood. It was only intended for us to come and school him on what he wanted to be and what he wanted people to see.
Exactly. Well explained, brother. Well explained.
Yeah, so that's what that is. And you know, I just think that if you're from the hood, man, there's certain rules that you just don't allow. You don't allow anybody to come in the hood because it's a disrespect to every homie that died on the block.
Right.
Or in prison. To let him come in, infiltrate, or portray to be a thug nigga, and we know he's not.
Right.
Or represent
talk that shit, James. Talk that shit, man.
And talk about, nigga, this Santana. Nigga, you from Milwaukee? You ain't never been in the hood. You ain't never broke bread. How can you claim this? How can you put that on your body? That's not for you. And that's a disrespect to every homie that's walking and living. Every nigga that even thought about being a Crip or a motherfucking Blood should be mad at that shit. We live our life. We wake up, put on our drawers. Some niggas won't even wear blue underwear because they so blooded out. Some niggas won't even put on a red t-shirt or use red toothpaste because they so cripped out and loped out. But you'll let a light-skinned version of Michael Jackson come in this motherfucker and say, let's beat it and let's twerk. And now you done dyed your motherfucking hair. Now you done played this nigga game. And now you, man, let me not get started, man. It ain't worth it.
And man, on that note, man, that's a perfect way, man, to end this, man. Melle Mel, man, we appreciate you coming in, man, and sit with us, man.
No,
I appreciate it, man. Let me get my info out there, man.
For sure, I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah, Professor Melle Mel, the Hood Postman. Go follow me on YouTube, Instagram, the Hood Postman, on Twitter, the Hood Postman, and I'm Melle Gibson on Facebook, man. Be sure to follow me, man. We gonna get this thing popping, man. We gonna get it together because Big Steel, James, MC8, man, they stay on cold, man. Gangster Chronicles.
Right.
For sure. We appreciate you, man. We got James, you know, I know it's a little delay and you was about to say something. What was you gonna say, big dog?
No, I was just saying, man, everybody gotta hear Melle Mel. When I first heard you, I was like, this motherfucker, he got some hood knowledge. He understand. And not for the people on the outside, but the people on the inside in the hood, Mel. These cats need to hear that voice. These cats need to hear that knowledge of what the hood is.
I appreciate that, James.
Man, they need to get it because a lot of cats is walking with their pants halfway off their ass and don't even know why they doing it. These niggas ain't taught shit, ain't learned shit. And that's why gangbanging is fucked up today because they don't got and they can't absorb the knowledge that you putting out there. They don't understand this shit. And I tell each and everybody, man, don't wait till you're 57 years old to say I give. Man, I gave a long time ago, but I didn't know how to throw my hands up and surrender, my brothers. But now I know. And if it is what it is. On that, man, I appreciate both of you brothers, man. I'm about to go to work now.
Big Steel, when is it coming up? Was they watching or you gonna put it up later?
Man, I'm gonna put it up. This will be up on Thursday. The show podcast come out on Thursday, and we start putting clips of the videos out on Thursday too. Man, I appreciate it, dog. It's what I knew it was gonna be. I said, man, I'm gonna get to sit back and listen to some good shit. Hey
James, man, you going, man. You be cool how you know how to be cool, and still you take care, man. And I'll be speaking with you brothers soon, man.
I appreciate y'all, big dog. All right, big dog.
Finally get a chance to let the real